anything.
No.
So tell me gossip. No, it's not a like, no, you're pretty. Like, no, it's fine.
The earth is flat.
But I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
first of
the
all,
new
I
hot
know.
goss.
Okay, first of all, obviously I know that.
The earth is so flat, it should work out at the gym to work on its butt. That's
I
what
thought you were
say.
going to go boobs. Okay.
Oh, why do you say that?
I don't know.
Can you work
Flat.
out to make your boobs? Oh, the earth is flat.
Flat.
chested.
I don't
You're
know.
saying.
Flat chested. Flat.
Oh, no, I was thinking flat
butt.
ass.
Yeah, flat ass.
I was thinking flat ass because you
We
can
can tell where everyone's priorities
I
lie.
think
Yeah.
how
because
do
you can
know
work
if
on
you
that
have
at the
a
gym to
flat
work out
ass?
those muscles, get them more round
Yeah,
and
no,
shit.
that's true. This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squats.
I have
Ever
not
heard of
done
squats?
this.
Squats?
Squats.
Hey, the earth
Ever
should
heard of
start
it?
doing some squats.
Yeah.
Earth should squat. Earth should really fucking squat. But
Yeah. Why are you the last person to find? Are you
it's
curious?
it's always been like this. Like for my whole life, I'm so hungry for all. Like I want to know all this stuff, but I don't know. I always feel like I'm the last person. I'll be like, "Did you guys hear?" And everyone's like, "Yes, that happened 4 months ago." I know. I know that happened last calendar year. I was just checking if you guys knew. All that to say, if you ever have gossip, please tell me.
okay.
Wait,
I love
Can I
hearing
tell you
it.
sort of like very similar to
Yeah.
what you just said? I was just checking if you so like when I was in middle school, I was at a gig with my show choir.
Oh boy.
Okay, Glee.
So I was at a gig it was like at a church somewhere. We were just doing some Jesus worship, and
I love that.
no, we were singing some song. And while we were waiting to go on stage, like there was another boy in the show choir who was like, "Lucas, do you know what a blowjob is?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Say it then." I was like, "I don't need to say it. Don't you know?" And they were like, "Yeah, I do." And so we were just doing this like standoff of like of information
knows?
where we were both like, "We don't know."
I didn't learn until I don't know. It took a while to learn.
When did you
for me
learn
to-
what a blowjob is? Wait, pull the mic just a little bit closer to you. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, like
Hello.
You know? Do you,
You know,
know?
like
Go
a-
on, tell
like
us.
a
Like,
BJ.
The first time I learned about a blowjob.
a BJ.
A BJ.
a blowy.
I just
Blowy.
the mechanics of anything sexual were very mysterious to me until
That's fair.
like young adulthood.
Okay.
Like late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
I was just wrapped up in my super religious self, just being like, well, they said it's wrong, so I'm just gonna be curious and horny, but not actually do any research.
Okay.
Because the shame, the shame is so intense. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember how old I was, but it feels like recently, like in the I don't
Okay.
know, in the last 15 years, and I'm 30, so
Okay. So wait, so when you found out what a blowjob was, what was your reaction? Were you surprised, or were you just like, "Oh no, this makes sense"?
Well, I was like, first of all, I would love to understand the etymology of this term. Like, we're not blowing on it, so what?
Maybe
is
you're
this
not.
just to confuse? When Gabby gives blowjobs,
Yeah.
she blows. She really blows. You're
Yeah, I'm like a leaf blower. That's what they call me. Leaf blowing
leaf
Gabby.
blower Gabby.
Let's go.
You ever get blown by Gabby? You know, you know that.
You get blown by Gabby, you end up in Central Park.
You just get blown across the city.
You just get blown into a pile of leaves.
You just float around ethereal through the sky.
Oh wow!
In the trees.
What a
Like the
magical
sack of winds in
experience.
the
It's so
Odyssey.
nice.
Like you just open it up and you go, "Woo!" Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
It is
Yeah.
like that.
That's what your blowjobs are like.
I remember exactly. It was that evening when I did that thing with like my show choir. It was that evening, literally, as like my dad was just like about to like kiss me goodnight. I was like,
On the mouth?
Yeah, what's this story?
no, yeah, no. He literally he was about to say goodnight to me, and then I asked him. I was like, "Dad, what's a blowjob?" And he told me in very matter-of-fact terms. He was like, "Well, it's when your partner pleasures you with their mouth the way sort of similar in sex as a vagina would to a penis. Someone does it with their mouth." And I was just like, "That makes a lot of sense. Thank you." He was like, "Good night."
Good
It
night,
was just,
son.
It was
Wow.
very easy. It was very matter-of-fact. It was a very easy conversation.
The closest thing there's only 2 questions I've ever asked my parents about sex, and they're not even about sex, and it was only my mom. One was, I guess I heard someone use the word obscene, and it was like in some sort of sexual context. So I asked my mom, I was like,
Okay.
"Mom, what does obscene mean?" And she was like, who said that word to you? And she like freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, I better never say that word again.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, that like it's so removed, like that's not even
Obscene?
I know. It's not even exclusively talking. I don't know.
Obscene also is the euphemism.
Right.
It is the word to describe the bad word.
Yeah. So I guess it kind of sent her in like a cycle where she was like,
Wow.
I can't explain I don't know. It was very strange. So I just like didn't know the word obscene for a long time. I was like afraid to ask anyone else. And
Oh, wow.
then,
You're such a good kid. Like your parent told you one time that the word was bad. You were like, I forget that this word exists.
Yeah. I was just like scared to do my own sex research. I just felt so like, where do I start? I don't even know.
Yeah, you gotta go to the library.
I was very
Decimal.
similar. Yeah, Dewey
I
Decimal.
had to do
Yeah.
decimal my sex ed.
I love double D's too. Yeah.
Hey, double D, Dewey Decimal.
Boom.
Well, you were like Orthodox.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
were.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know a lot about the Orthodox, being a reformie myself.
Yeah, your joke that you do, like I'm Jewish, so I'm white, but I love my family. Every time you do that, I'm like, not this Jew, not me. Like, so you're just white, okay? Like, I
I will
know.
say, when you do that joke, it does make me laugh, but at the same time, I'm like, I know plenty of Jews who hate their family. I was like, so many.
No, I hear you. Like,
Yeah.
my cultural understanding of what Jews are like is that. I'm
Yes.
like, oh yes, Jews do love them. Like, yeah, but my family's a little colder.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think that when I like watched, for example, the movie like Shiva Baby, it like
I
seemed
have so many opinions about that movie.
I'm curious what you think.
I think we DM'd about it.
we did DM.
I have not seen the movie Shiva Baby.
That's fine.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it because I think that it was like a lot about how like kind of boundaryless it can all be in a Jewish family.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And yet how like at the end, like when they're in the car all together, like they still choose to love each other because they have to.
Yeah.
Because they're around each other all the time, and that's just the decision that they make.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel with that joke. I feel like there's a lot of goyim who are like, you know, oh God, my mother asked me what I was eating for dinner. She's so annoying. Why does she call me? And it's like, well, clearly you don't have that same cultural thing of like, we need to literally be in each
In
other's
touch
business, sniffing each other's
constantly.
ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
That's
a Jewish
classic
thing.
Jewish.
That's
No, that's just the Jordan Brown family tradition.
tradition.
Just
Yeah,
that
what did you
tradition.
think about that movie? I can't remember what you DM'd me.
I felt like it was just a caricature.
Okay.
Like, just like crazy Jews, like being insane, stuffing their faces with smoked fish, and like just gathering at someone's house, having no boundaries, talking, like wondering what their kids' careers are.
So you're saying
And
it's a
there was-
documentary?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like a documentary, but like with no message. I like there wasn't like a
Okay,
redeem.
okay.
I didn't feel like there was any sort of redemption arc. And then to not have a Jewish person play the protagonist, it feels like not like a bad faith caricature, which I know
Okay.
I'm sure it's not. I think the creator of the movie is Jewish. Like I'm not
Yeah, and
trying
the
to
director.
I'm not trying to undercut like the Jewishness of the creators of the movie, but like I don't know, that felt really bizarre and inauthentic to me. Like I think the person's a good actor, like the main character, and sure, but it just kind of took me out of it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, Jews yelling, and they're not even Jews. Like, you couldn't cast a Jewish woman in Hollywood to like do the caricature that you're doing of this culture. Feels
Yeah.
weird.
It was interesting because for me, the bright spot of the movie was Diana Agron, who ironically plays the Shiksa.
She plays the Shiksa. It's so
and
funny.
she's so good because she is Jewish and she knows how condescending that blonde Shiksa can be.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. But also like how that's also such an interesting, like I'd be so interested for that to be the main character. Like someone who converted to marry into a Jewish family. Like I'm from like racist Jew town where like even though it says multiple times in the Bible, like you gotta be nice to people who convert, and also widows and orphans. That's always the trio.
Yeah. Way to shoehorn widows and orphans
Yeah,
in there.
right.
They're like people who convert and
Even-
also, fuck, I think I'm forgetting something.
But also like
Yeah.
people who like died. I don't know. Anyway, I have family who would say things like, yeah, but like, don't you want to marry someone with Jewish blood? Which literally sounds like Voldemort. Like, what are you? talking about? And it's like, what? You're literally not allowed to discriminate in that way. And so
Yeah.
I imagine that the experience of converting and then being in this environment, like trying to navigate, like who really is on my side and who really does believe I'm Jewish, and like, you
Yeah.
know, versus like who thinks I really am still an outsider. That's interesting to me.
I actually have a story that I want to tell. I may have told you before, but before I get into that, we need to say welcome to Two Nosy Meerkats
podcast.
Hi.
Woo! We're back and better than ever. Lucas, you wanna do it? Because I feel like you're chirping up.
Oh, I am chirping up. We've got a fantastic comedian. I am so sorry to ask you this and to interrupt my own introduction, but would you please say the name of your podcast, which you are starting?
Absolutely. It's called Female Intern.
Female Intern.
That is
It's-
also my Instagram handle, my Venmo handle. So follow
Perfect.
me on all
What more could you
And
need?
pay her.
Give a
Yeah,
round of
pay me.
applause for a fantastic comedian, Danielle Deluty.
Hey.
We're very excited to have you on. But what you were just saying, I also have like a sort of a story about that. So my dad was Jewish and came from, honestly, like most of my family members, very sweet people. Especially like after my dad passed away, a lot of them reached out to me to say the sweetest shit, and they're wonderful people. That being said, there are a few examples where a few people were a little racist, and
little?
no, yeah, there was.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot.
Oh yeah, well, there was a time where I think I was like 2 or 3, and we were visiting my grandmother in Florida, and my grandmother had like a couple of like her close friends over.
No, I know where this is going.
Oh,
I already know.
you don't.
Okay.
It's so like my mom is in the room with me, like bouncing on her lap. And if people don't know, you probably do if you follow me on social media, my mom is black. And these 2 friends of my
if
grandmother's.
you were Jewish, you'd have to whisper it. My mom is black.
My mom does the opposite, where when she makes a new friend, she'll say the race of them 3 times as loud as anything. About
I
the
met
rest
this
of them.
black man. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
She'll be like, I made a friend at the nail salon. Wonderful woman. Black. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I've been saying on stage, it's like she doesn't see colors. She just hears it in italics.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Sorry, please continue.
No. Yeah. So, these 2 friends coming over to visit my grandmother in her condo in a gated community, and my mom and I are in the room, and these 2 friends start trying to play matchmaker for my dad, as if me and my mom don't exist,
Do they not know?
and they're speaking very loudly.
I mean, I'm sure they know because there was a full ass child.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no,
saying, like,
they knew
what?
exactly
It
what
was
was
an
going on.
orphan.
Yeah,
And the dad was a widow.
Oh my
And
God.
they were like,
they're
oh,
done.
we
and
gotta
my
be
mom
nice.
was invisible.
And your mom was invisible. Yeah.
That's
No,
really
yeah, but my
special.
mom just like overheard a full-on conversation about trying to play matchmaker for her husband, who's just like in the kitchen.
Who's right there?
Yeah,
I don't like that one bit.
It'd be weird. if
crazy
you
how
did
that's
like
not an
that.
uplifting story. Really,
Crazy
there's not really
how that crushes the soul.
Yeah, it's not really not a lot of levity in that one. It's just kind of sad. Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh, that like cattiness and the judginess.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you've been around that.
That's my life. That's my
Yeah.
heritage.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say there is especially like every time that I've gone to a Jewish function, either with my family or with someone else, like at one point there was a point where someone asked me if I'm dating anyone, and there was
They have
one.
to. They're legally required to.
Yeah,
ask.
and but at one point when I was like, maybe like 16, I think I actually was dating someone, and their first question was, "Is she Jewish?"
Always.
And I was like,
Yeah, don't answer if you're not. If it's not.
Yeah.
If she's not a yid, you can't answer.
and I was like, why do you? I was like, what is? I feel like there's an obsession with purity.
Voldemort. I'm
Yes.
telling you,
Yeah.
literally, it's
Drink
it's
the blood.
pure blood
Yeah.
shit. It's gross.
Yeah.
It really creeps
Or like,
me out.
oh, I'm Jewish. Okay, but like which parent? Like what side?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I've gotten
my
that as well.
God. People probably tell. I'm sure Jews have been like, well, you're not like really Jewish.
Yes, exactly. I've had that all the time. Yeah, loads of times.
So you
yeah,
want to just like homicide them when they say that?
yeah.
That's how I feel.
Hey, it's an option.
Yeah. You know, it's happened before.
Don't you
Yeah.
get homicidal? you guys ever get homicidal?
Yeah. You ever get homicidal urges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like to specify just whenever I'm talking about like the Jewish part of my identity that like I've been trying to figure out how to do like bits about this. Like there's so many Jews in comedy and I don't relate. like to so many people get up and be like, Dad, went to Jewish summer camp. Like, that's where I got a hand job for the first time. And I'm like, okay, well, I went to like Zionism indoctrination camp, which is like Jesus camp for the state of Israel.
Oh my
There were no
God.
hand jobs, at least that I was privy to. There was no sexual awakening. So I was actually deprived of my real birthright. And I can't relate to any of this shit. I come from like such a particular sliver of Jewish culture. So I never want to try to like speak too broadly or generally about like, I'm not
I
an
want to hear what
authority.
Zionist camp was like, though.
Yeah, I'm
I
curious
do
about
want to
that.
hear like,
It's really intense. Like
Yeah.
fully like you got to move to Israel. Your mitzvot, like your deeds don't count unless you move there. You should join the military. People in my family did, like my siblings did that.
oh my
Like
God.
because of our camp and our schools. But yeah, like a lot of the activities were just about like learning about Israel and erasing Palestinianhood. They'd be like, well, that they're actually not a real, identity because like I don't need to get into it because they're stupid. But
It's also the most Jewish sounding country, Palestine.
right, Palestine.
Yeah.
You guys ever been to Palestine?
Have you ever seen Dr. Murray Palestine? Wonderful dentist.
It really does.
Palestine sounds like the Zabar's competitor.
Oh my god.
The arugula, it's much better at Palestine.
No, you
Yes!
got to get the whitefish at Palestine's. So dumb. But yeah, it was a religious co-ed sleepaway camp in Indian Orchard, Pennsylvania. Very mediocre sports, arts and crafts, a lake.
Why'd you have to include that? Why'd you have to confirm the stereotype?
I need to hear about the mediocre sports.
Just like
What
you would
sports were
like
played?
have sports, but like then you'd go and it was just like I don't really feel like doing kickball today, so you just sort of hang out.
When you're hearing that much about Zionism, you can't be like, all right, let's do kickball too.
No, and it was like it was Sabbath observant, and so a lot of like organized time on the Sabbath or Shabbat. There was like organized singing time, for, like prayer
Wow.
songs and stuff. It was intense.
Was there any aspect of it that you enjoyed while you were there?
I loved it. That's what's so freaky about it to me now.
She hates Palestine. Look at her.
No, it's
Well, Zabar's is better.
Zabar.
Yeah. There we go. No, wait, but so what was
I
fun?
loved
Yeah.
no. That's I was so locked into the kind of Jewish identity that I was groomed with.
Yes.
And like the Zionism, and if people aren't familiar with like that ideology, just a staunch commitment and loyalty to the preservation of the state of Israel. And like a lot of people do make a lot of or they'll say things like there are some anti-Semitic tropes like, the Jews, they have dual loyalty to whatever country they're in and Israel. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm from for sure. Hashtag not all Jews, but like we were extremely like very much taught and groomed like loyalty to this state,
Goodness.
and move here if you want.
Can I? Okay.
Extra points if you move.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this before on the podcast. Did I tell you about like a DM I got from a Canadian dude last year? Did I tell you about that?
Sounds hot.
Okay, so
A Canadian dude.
oh,
was it like, oh, hello, Lucas?
I wish. Okay, well, I'll do that voice when I talk. Okay, so after my dad passed away was when there was a resurgence in fighting between like Israel and Palestine last year, which I'm sure we all remember. And so this is like pretty soon after my dad died. And I did this like kind of annoying, sappy, like multi-story post on Instagram where I was like, hey guys, my dad just died. We disagreed on a lot of stuff, but there are a few things that we did agree on. And one of the most important things that I feel like we did agree on is that as Jews, the best way to channel our trauma and our pain from the Holocaust is towards empathy and fighting for the rights of other people who are persecuted in current day. And I am talking about...
Word.
Yes, thank you. We love this. We love this. Yeah. But I said I am talking about Palestinians, who I believe are really mistreated, especially in the media, especially in the United States. I have added a donation link to support people who are suffering from violence and so on. If you could donate, it would mean the world to me. If you can't, you can't. I wish you all the best. I'm going through a rough time. I hope you're doing okay. It was that sort of thing.
Oh my God, did you get backlash?
Oh, well, a lot of it was very positive. A lot of it was like, thank you so much for this. It means so much coming from someone like you with your platform online. And I responded to a few of them. I was like, thank you so much. That means the world. And then I got some backlash, including from a comedian who's not a fun person. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then I got a DM.
Dox them.
No,
Dox them! What?
Dox them now.
But don't say the
Jerry
name,
Seinfeld. No,
just
it
the
wasn't.
address.
I hate him. Very annoying.
Very annoying comedian. He's always like, what's the deal with? I don't notice anything. I'm the opposite of an observational comic. I'm disobservational.
I don't know what's going on.
You ever walk down the street and notice stuff? Not me.
Nope.
I'm different.
I go right on stage. I go to the audience. I go, who are you?
You ever go outside and think, what's going on?
I look around and I'm like, well, doesn't seem like much is happening here. Time
You
to go
ever
back
not
in.
pay attention to stuff?
What is that
All the
animal
time.
on the leash? Never seen.
Don't
Yeah.
care.
Modern day philosopher.
But you got
Okay, you
backlash.
got
Oh yeah,
DM'd.
no, I got a DM from this guy saying, I am neither Israeli nor Palestinian. I don't have a stake in the conflict. I'm just a Canadian guy trying to get my master's degree in Tel Aviv. But I've been spending the last 3 nights in a shelter, and I haven't been able to sleep at all because of the constant bombing. What did I do to deserve this? And it took
That guy needs
it
a lot of
took
help.
all of my I didn't actually say this, but it was like an intrusive thought. I was like, what if I respond with praise Allah, you fucking maple leaf? Just like
That'll show him. Call him
Yeah.
a maple leaf.
Call him a
Yeah.
fucking maple leaf.
You
blowing
know
in the
that
wind.
classic Canadian slur.
Yeah.
A maple leaf.
It was all I didn't say that. Obviously, I
Yeah.
didn't say that.
I
but
would never call him a maple leaf.
He said
No.
it.
He said it. He
No,
said it.
you're- no.
Well, he can say it about himself.
Yes.
You know, you can.
Some of my best friends
That's our
are
word.
maple leaves.
Well, you know, that's our word, eh? Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can't say that.
You can't call
yeah.
us that. We've had too many issues.
It's very difficult to speak about Zionism, the state of Israel, because it deserves nuance, because everyone who's human deserves nuance. But I was like foie gras at Zionism. Like they just like jammed it down my throat, and I was just like yum 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 until like I got to college and was like, oh, you literally.
I love
you
that
literally
verb. I love
left-
that. I'm sorry, I need to pause. That was a beautiful
It's
verb.
very gross.
You
so
foie
I'm-
gras it.
Also, like I've
Wait, do
never
you get
had
that?
foie gras.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
great.
good, cool.
That's when they like stuff shit down
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
baby duck or something.
Yeah,
I
to
don't-
like make its liver all fat and
it's-
delicious,
it's
unfortunately.
Really, it's a really great.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
Oh, it's amazing.
I don't think I
So
will have
good.
it like knowing how the sausage
I
gets
know.
made.
Oh,
that's
no,
the
it's-
thing.
If someone was just like foie gras appears out of thin air, I'd be like, yeah, I'll eat it. But like
Yeah.
now that I know they like shove it down a baby duck.
Yeah,
It's
I was just I was served this
delicious.
version of this ideology
Yeah.
with it was so black and white, and I was like, did you guys think I was never gonna watch the news and like never gonna read a book and like find out like another side? And so I feel very like betrayed by my education in that way, so I can be a little bit flippant or glib when I like
Yeah.
talk about it, where I'm like, fuck Zionism, and it's like, well, that's like a stupid thing to say. Like there
I don't
it's a
think it's
lot
stupid.
it's richer
It's
I've-
richer and
I
complicated,
have
yeah.
thought very very deeply about it,
But it's also something that you have been like, it's an ideology you have been force fed. So you're, I think, entitled to have the guttural reaction, whatever that is that you have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some guts about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally I get it, and I think that's interesting because like my Jewish education was like I remember talking to like another girl about this where she was like, I can't even imagine being a Jew without Zionism. It's like hand in hand.
Me too.
But I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you have a lot of people who are like, what? And you can't equate Zionism and Judaism. Like, that's anti-Semitic. I'm like, I hear you, but also there are Jews who do equate it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different Jews. I don't know that everybody
Famously,
knows.
we all disagree about everything. That's
Famously.
sort of our thing.
It's one of our quirky little...
There are a lot of different Jews. I just love that sentence. There's a lot of them. They got all shapes and sizes,
we got
different
the
kinds of
Goldmans, the Bernsteins. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, both kinds.
But it is
Yeah.
just fascinating because, like, and the other thing that you said about Jewish education, that struck a chord with me too, because, like, I don't know if it's that the emotional connection to, like, a ancestral home is just so strong. but I feel like it makes people stupid.
Yeah.
When I was on Birthright, I remember they were like talking about like some conflict that happened, and they were talking about it in a very Israel-centric way of like, and we, you know, got this land back because like the way they do it is they like play the victim. And then this girl raised her hand and was like to the tour guide who was standing on like a rock, like, oh, I'm just thinking about how
So Jewish.
It's
You
so
know-
biblical always.
Standing on a.
she basically said that she was like, you know, you're talking about this land and here you are standing on this land. And it just really like, you know, warms my heart to think that like you're talking about it and standing on it at the same time. And I was like, this conflict's never ending.
It's never gonna.
This never.
No.
This is not.
If people, well, I mean, the other thing is like with Birthright, people really do just want a free trip, which is why like whenever people complain about Birthright, everyone's like, oh, you're so spoiled complaining about a free trip. But like it is a really evil thing because that's by design.
Yeah.
It's by design so that when people complain, they're like, what could you ever possibly be complaining about? But most people went to Israel to like fuck around, smoke, drink, and have fun, and associate that with the state of Israel. It's kind of like when they give you
It's a fully brainwashed trip. Like
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming you've been to Israel.
I have.
So-
yeah.
You
Did
family
you
there?
also do like Birthright?
do. I didn't really qualify for Birthright.
Really?
Too Jewish. I'd already been on like too
Overfilled the
many.
quota.
I'd been on like
You
too
too
many
many-
organized trips to
Yeah, I
Israel
get that.
already. They were like, I tried to do a joke about this because they were like, you can come be a counselor, and I was like, I'm not going on your propaganda trip to work. Okay. I'm going to have sex with some hot unaffiliated Jews.
Yeah.
Free. Stupid. No, but so I didn't go on Birthright, but I have
Yeah.
been. I did a gap year. I like lived in West Jerusalem, went to a religious women's
Okay.
seminary for a year.
Well, the reason.
what was that like?
Oh yeah.
Well, you had a question.
Well, I had a question, which was because you went on that trip. Did they like bring like members of the military that were obviously there to just be sexy?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Oh my god.
I know that's a thing
you-
that they do. They show you really sexy people to be like, hey, this is what we got here.
It's also weird about Israel. Like, there's a lot of hot people there.
I know
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like a lot of hot people.
It's
this is-
it's a sexy place.
I also
yeah.
want to acknowledge, like, sometimes I say the most anti-Jew, like anti-Semitic shit of all
Me
time.
too.
Like, and
And that's what we
I
want.
do want to apologize.
And that's what we want.
for that. But like, I've always had like self-consciousness about Jewish identity because like we're not cute. Like that's not what we're known for. As opposed to like Argentinian people are like known for being beautiful or whatever.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's like still
It's funny,
like, a
my best friend is an
European
Argentinian Jew.
Whoa.
So they're
My
around.
Is your
my
friend hot?
grandmother.
She's super hot.
My grandmother was born in Argentina, and I was like, just what a like.
Is she hot?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Grandma. Like she's not. But I was
Danielle
always,
thinks her
Do some
grandma's not
squats.
hot. She
Yeah.
doesn't
Do
want to
some
fuck her grandma.
I don't want.
Come on, get on my level. Fuck your grandma.
I like strongly don't want to fuck her.
Yeah.
No, I always was just like, "Ugh, I wish our thing was like Jews, like they're hot. Like that's
Yeah.
not. Whereas like we also have this weird like Aryan, German, Nazis, like they're hot. Like we still think of them
is
as
that about
beautiful
for us? I
right?
know.
Like blonde, blue eye. Like we fetishize Jews who are blonde and have blue eyes.
I
It's
know.
like they're
I get
really
fetishized all the time
beautiful.
for it. Let me tell you, especially
Yeah.
when I was younger, because my hair was way lighter.
That's not what we're all
I looked-
fetishizing you for.
Yeah,
Oh, what are you
Lucas,
fetishizing me
I don't
for?
think he knows.
Those pants. I mean, what are they? Khakis?
First thing that you saw,
Those
you looked down and was
elbows.
like, "What can I riff on?"
Well, I realized I didn't have a riff halfway
Yeah,
through.
it's all good.
I was naked from riffs. You were saying.
And under
I
these
don't know.
clothes,
You
I
were
am
saying.
naked.
Oh, you were talking about anti-Semitism. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wish we were hotter, just
Yeah.
as a people.
Oh, I wish that too.
But it's all the inbreeding, you know.
It is,
I
yeah.
know.
I have a new bit all just
Lucas
about
has
that.
a new joke
Oh
about that.
boy.
Yeah, my new. Well, yeah, I'll do a little burst, which is that I don't think that I'm not a fan of inbreeding, but I do think the Jews perfected it. Because
boy.
the thing is like, because I say, do you realize like Jews like over the centuries we inbred to the perfect amount that we became an ethnicity. Do you realize how hard that is to nail without imploding along the way?
Yeah.
Not to brag.
You ever inbreed?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys have inbreed.
The other thing,
Try
okay,
it.
other than the one time, I've never like been with a Jewish girl because I
Oh.
feel competitive with other not you, but I feel competitive with a lot of Jewish women.
In what way?
I'm like
Like,
To be-
you want to be the Jewish
I want to
one.
be the special Jewy girl.
Yeah, I think about that too. I'm like, I want that to be my thing in the relationship.
Yeah.
Because Jews,
Like,
we're not hot, but we are quirky.
yeah.
And I want to be the girl in the room who's like the quirkiest little bitch.
I want to
and
be the
Aw.
quirky Jew.
I want to be the
Yeah.
quirky Jewess. And so the idea that I would be with another quirky Jewess who might be quirkier than me, get
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
out of
No.
here.
Developing another aspect of your personality? Never.
Not gonna work. Not
Not
gonna
gonna
work.
happen.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was. Oh, yeah. So, people in Israel are really hot, but they're like the IDF uniforms. I think they make them hot on purpose
Oh, yeah?
because they like got the hottest soldiers, and they come on the bus in their uniforms, and then they are in plain clothes the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But
Whoa.
the first impression that we get of them
Is just really put together, clean cut, and
is them
just
in
everything.
uniform.
And you see it all over the country. Like anywhere, like in like the Israeli territory that you go, you'll see like birthright buses and trips, and like you'll see like the one or two soldiers, and then like all the tourists. It's very strange. It's a very
Yeah.
strange machine.
Yeah.
Goodness, no, it was an interesting thing. Like I was talking about this with my dad a couple years ago, where I was like, I never want to go on birthright, and I was saying, I don't think I ever want to go to Israel, and he was like, it is a shame because it is a beautiful country. It is beautiful there.
I mean, yeah, it's
My dad worked on a kibbutz there in the 60s, like when he was like 19
That's
or so.
hardcore.
Yeah, and he had a wonderful time. He absolutely loved it there.
yeah. It's a very like different landscape than here. It's a different pace of life. There's a lot of beauty, but
Yeah.
it's also, I mean, it's like America, where it's like,
Yeah.
are you just gonna not talk about how we fucking stole it?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
fucking wrapped people in smallpox blankets and just stole their house. Like, so we just sort of ignore that part, and then it's like really beautiful. But no,
Yeah.
it is a pretty incredible place to see. Like the archaeology, the
Exactly, yeah.
the It's a beautiful.
My dad used to be
geography
an
of, like-
archaeologist, and that's what he loved about it. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
they-
weird
He was
thing about
obsessed.
aesthetic beauty is like, I don't know, like
Wait, one second.
knock knock, it's God. I think it just like, sorry, this is gonna be the most like dumb galaxy brain point, but it just kind of like obscures, like beauty is everything because it's the first thing you see, right? Like whether someone's hot or like the landscape is beautiful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the thing you're looking at is pretty and well lit.
That's what we think when we looked at our grandparents. Danielle knows.
Not
Just
me.
like, hey, are they hot?
No, not me.
Yeah.
Don't confuse that. My grandparents, uggos. They're great people. Are they? No. No, we're just, we look Jewish. I don't know what to say.
I think also with like internalized anti-Semitism,
Oh my God.
I do feel it often, but at the same time, I think that anti-Semitism in our community gets thrown around as such a like trump card for everything. Like
Yeah.
you can't make a point about how to make our communities, our families, our, shuls, our fucking politics better without someone eventually accusing you of being anti-Semitic.
Yeah, like you're self-hating. It's like, what?
It's just a way of shutting down the conversation
Totally.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in a lot of conversations about it, but the thing is, like, I go to a point where I think I'm afraid to talk about it because I don't feel like I have the right to, because like I wasn't raised Jewish. Like it's like obviously
Yeah,
it's
I
like
hear
my
you.
dad's side of it, and so I think
It's the fake side.
yeah, exactly. It's the fake side. I'm a mudblood. Yeah. And that I yeah, I do stop myself from commenting or owning my identity a lot because I think I'm worried that there's like a qualification or a criteria that I'm not aware of that I should be aware of that I don't fulfill. And so I think, I should just be safe and like
Yeah.
not enter the fray.
It's so strange. I also have been, one day I'll figure out how to make it a bit, but like we're of like the big three monotheism religions, right?
Yeah.
Like we are not proselytizing one. Which is weird. It's like, do we not believe in our own Kool-Aid? Like, why is our thing like no new friends? Like, in fact, if you want to convert at least to Judaism, like in an Orthodox way, it's in my view. I'm not a person who's converted, so it's not my experience. But though, as I've learned about it, it's like humiliating. You got to get like turned away 3 times before you finally get on it. Like. We make it difficult to join the club, which is rude.
It's like a frat. Why are they hazing you?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I also think the circumcision thing is kind of crazy, like for adults.
Don't even get me started. Just like the founding, like biblical story of like the whole Jewish covenant between God and Abraham, like where it all began. Okay, so what's the origin story? God was like, yo, take your favorite kid up a mountain and then kill him for me. And Abraham's like, okay, word, I'll do that. And then he's about to slice his son's neck, and God's like, oh my God, stop it, I'm joking. Just slice a little bit of his dick off. Like, what? And now all of you guys have to do that forever. That's normal.
God is
what
Lana
a
Del
bad
Rey.
friend.
I'm like, did we invent like the divine?
God is toxic.
God, it's absolutely like abusive. Like he hurts us because he loves us. What?
Do it for me.
Oh my God.
Cut your son's dick off for me. That's a whole religion. I'm so sorry to all of my beautiful family and friends who. It's a legitimate way of life that I don't understand anymore.
I hate getting into the political minefield of circumcision as well.
I love it.
It matters so much to so many people. I have like a family friend who like that is her whole thing. She is a conservative Jew and her whole thing is stop circumcision.
Oh, wow.
That's like her whole mission in life. But I think what's interesting here's my thought. I think, so people are like, the baby didn't have a choice. Mm-hmm. You can't really get a choice about this kind of thing until you're older and cogent. And at no point are you going to make that choice.
No one's going to opt in.
I know of some examples of people who have opted in. Yeah.
Few people are going to opt in.
Who do you know? Do you know people personally?
Not personally, but I saw a documentary all about this, about people that they either like regrew their foreskin after like stretching it out, doing exercises. But I've also seen stories of people that like they married someone who is Jewish and like they wouldn't marry them unless they got circumcised, and so they got.
Do you think that was just because like the wife wanted the husband to have a cleaner weenie?
I think it was like a mental block. She was like, I can't touch it until you do.
A cleaner wiener, actually.
Yeah,
cleaner
wiener. Yeah.
Episode title.
That's my first special.
Do you?
Well, something. Excuse me. Something
Stupid.
I love it.
Also, I just like
wiener.
if it ever feels like it's getting too serious or too Jewy, like please.
Oh no,
no! I
don't think we've gotten Jewy enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is positively Gentile
Jewier.
at this
Could be
point.
Jewy. Yeah, this is Gentile.
It's just
shit
something
here.
goyish, narishkeit at this point. I'll just say Yiddish words. They don't even mean anything.
The only
Okay, Yiddish.
Yeah.
I feel like Yiddish is amazing. Every word sounds like a slur.
Yeah.
It's
a fun language. It sounds
right.
great.
Every word.
I know how to.
Chazer.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Pig.
Oh, okay.
Machashefa, which it's like so intense.
Yeah. There's only I know how to.
Meshugana. Crazy.
Yeah. I know how to say one phrase.
Okay.
Which is Seid nicht meshuga, which is don't be crazy. Am I correct?
Seid nicht meshuga. See, something like that. Yeah.
Seid nicht meshuga?
Yeah, like don't be.
I got that from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. I used to be like, I asked my grandmother. I was like, Savta, what is? She would always be like, Moishe, red nicht, and like to my grandfather, and I was like, what does like red nicht mean? And she was like, it means shut up. I was like, oh, that's what you're saying to my grandfather all the time. That's so sweet.
That's so cute and very
It's
Jewish.
really
Yeah.
sweet.
Well, something I wanted to ask you is that you have a fascinating job, which is that you are a doula. And
Thank
can
you.
I?
Pretty
something I
cool.
want to
I
know
like
is.
it.
Does the parents' decision to circumcise or not circumcise, are you ever involved in that decision?
Are you actually involved in any of the decisions that they make around like the baby's like birth? Yeah.
In the sense that I and my doula partner, we work as a 2-person team. We try to
Double act.
We try to provide like as much information as we can. So
Okay.
if people are like thinking about circumcision and they're like not sure, like, can we do it at the hospital or what are some risks? Like, we'll point them in the direction of some evidence-based evidence-based research. And evidence-based research, that's also kind of like a loaded term. Like, you can get evidence to support whatever the fuck you want, but we try to find like, you know, reputable sources and like share information with people. But we do like create just like a neat little Google Doc template for people where we outline their preferences for their care, if they're wherever their place of birth is, whether it's a hospital or birth center, their home. And one of the things we specify is like, are they going to be opting in for circumcision or not?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Well, can I ask, is there ever a point where you get like very heated, or are you just you're always pragmatic? You're like, no, this is your decision. This is info.
Yeah.
Done.
The crux of the job, as I see it, or as I try to practice it, is supporting someone as a companion, as a non-judgmental companion.
Yeah. Right.
So it's kind of like a parent or a friend with boundaries.
So do you do like home births?
I've never been to a home birth. I would love to, but it's
was a
very
home birth.
uncommon.
You
really?
were?
I was.
That's so epic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's so cool.
And
Was
my
it in here?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's so cool.
It was.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait.
Not right here in this room. No, not right.
Which couch?
It was a kiddie pool, but
Oh, great.
Oh yeah,
no, I don't know. Was it?
No, it wasn't. It was my parents' bedroom. It was like 5 a.m. My mom, she was wide open. It was just there.
As
and
opposed
That's
to
incredible.
staunchly closed.
yeah, hey.
He's not coming out of here.
Yeah.
The birth I just went to 2 days ago, like every couple hours, my client would be like, I just hope I hope they come out. I was like, they're coming out. Your baby's coming out. Okay, don't worry about it. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. It's like in Big Little Lies, Shailene Woodley would be like, Ziggy, look at me. Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Yeah, but so like we accompany people like through pregnancy. Like people hire us at different points in pregnancy. Some people are like, I just got pregnant like 12 weeks ago and I want a doula already. And some people are like, I'm giving birth in 2 months. I just discovered what doulas are. But I'm primarily an emotional support companion for people through the reproductive cycle. So wherever they are on that journey. And their partner, if there's a partner.
Right.
And what that means is like I have some structured meeting with them prenatally and try to provide some baseline education of like what's available to you in the environment where you give birth, like all the terminology of like medical interventions and why are they given? Why would you opt in? Why might you not opt in? What are some risks versus benefits? And then like we talk about the specifics of labor, like how do you know labor's starting? What do you do? Like, how are we going to support you during that? And then also talk them through like postpartum planning. Like, where's your food coming from for the first 2 weeks after you give birth? Like,
Oh, yeah.
do you guys have a laundry machine? Like, how's that going to work? Like, just helping people think through the logistics of like life with a newborn.
Wow.
And like healing, recovery.
Yeah.
Like, don't exercise for a little bit. You have a massive wound on your uterus. You gotta chill for a bit.
Right. Can I ask, like, what is the like? What did you go to college for, if at all?
Oh my God, such a ridiculous path that my resume confuses everyone, including myself.
When did you start the training or certification process for being a doula, and what is that?
I want to
Late
know the whole path,
2019.
actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whole path.
Let me give you. I'll try to give it.
Spark notes.
Yeah.
You got this.
So after I did that seminary for a year in Jerusalem, I went to Barnard College for Women on the Upper West Side, and majored in political science because it sounded serious, and I was like, my parents will be fine with that. And then minored in music and like got really into just like perform. Yeah, just was. My heart was always like artsy fartsy, but I was like, we have to pretend to be serious. Worked at a startup for a few years and was like, I still need to pretend to be serious. So I went to law school, fully did law school. And in the middle of it was like, whose idea was this? This is so boring. I hate this, which is not a terribly uncommon experience for some law students. But I was like, I've never quit school before. That didn't really seem like an option. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna finish this degree. And then I have no idea what. I did watch a stand-up special while I was in law school, like one of the summers, that like spiritual awakening.
Who
like,
was it?
Rory Scovel.
Ah,
Literally
I
every
love the
single
dude.
podcast I ever go on, including my own, like I mention his name. It's like, I'm starting to get like self-conscious about it. Like I keep talking about him, but he really just impacted
That's
my life.
beautiful though that he made like such an impact on
Such an
you.
impact.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Because I always liked stand-up, but I never like saw myself in it. And then I saw him do it and I was like, I got to do that.
That's awesome.
So while I was in law school, I was like, okay, I definitely want to do that. Like, I definitely want to figure out whatever Rory's doing and like try to do that. While I was in school, I was volunteering for a local organization in Boston as a crisis counselor. So I was like on a phone hotline once a week. I had a shift where I would, field calls from people who were either like in crisis, usually some relation to sexual violence, and people who were either like unsafe in their surroundings right then and needed help safety planning or needed help like navigating a hospital system or law enforcement, like high stakes, intimidating stuff, sharing resources with people, like a lot of people dealing with chronic homelessness or domestic violence, or calls from people who weren't in physical danger at the moment, but were having some sort of emotional flare up and just needed someone to listen to them and like validate what they're going through and help them exit some sort of anxiety spiral. And I mention all of this because I just connected with that work a lot. We had very like intense training, but it felt very intuitive and it was like majority emotional labor. And I was like, I feel way more competent at this.
Nice.
But I was like,
love that.
If I do crisis response full time after law school, I feel like we're looking at a burnout after like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's try to find if there are other contexts, like other professional contexts where you can be this sort of like non-clinical companion for people going through something. And yeah, I was so unfamiliar with doulas and with birth work and just because it's been culturally like so medicalized and so like taken over by the medical industry, even though it is not inherently a medical event. But yeah, it was, like discovered what doulas were through a friend of mine, and I was like, this is a job? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I felt so betrayed. I was like, I cannot believe no one told me this. I'm obviously supposed to do something like this. It's like so warm and fuzzy.
That's
my God.
incredible.
Yeah.
That
So
is
I was like,
beautiful.
all right, I'm going to try to find some trainings. I knew I was going to move back to New York City with a very good friend of mine from law school. We still live together. It's beautiful.
Oh my God.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
I remember I met a girl who was also a doula in an improv class, and I talked to her about it for a long time, and she said the same thing as you, that birth is not inherently a medical process.
Yeah.
Do you think like how do you think people would benefit if they knew that birth was something that was like natural, that was going to happen, and that was honestly like a little painful but mostly going to like facilitate itself?
Yeah. I think there has to be like a fundamental reframing about the pain of childbirth, because that is the sensation people experience in their uterus. It is a sensation of pain when the uterus contracts, but it is a unique kind of pain. Like in childbirth, pain is not equivalent to suffering. You have the hormonal capacity and emotional and mental capacity to recover from that pain because it's not harming you. It's your uterus doing labor. And then when it's done contracting, you're flooded with beta endorphins and you actually get real relief. That's how people are able to cope with it. It's not just one long like Hollywood Judd Apatow would have us believe.
The movies are so funny because half
movies
the
are
time when they're
fucked
giving
up.
birth, it sounds like they're having an orgasm. Half the time the woman's out like, ah!
Yeah.
Did either of your moms ever talk about like the pain of giving birth to you? Because my mom a number of times has told me that she said the worst I ever exclaimed was that I went, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Like she's told me a number of times, she was like, that's the worst of it. You were
People
easy.
cope really differently. I had a client we ended up getting to the hospital and she was fully dilated and like ready to start pushing, which is like, that was her goal. And
Ultimately,
usually
everyone's
my
goal.
goal.
it was her goal to like delay going to the hospital. She wanted to minimize medical
okay.
interventions and she wanted to
All
birth
right, yeah.
without anesthesia and just,
I see.
kind
Got
of
it, yeah.
have an unmedicated birth. And one of the best ways to do that is to stay at home for as long as to labor at home, to be in the comfort of your own home. Oxytocin, like that's the love hormone. When we orgasm, when we like pet our pet, when we feel safe, like that's the hormone that is released that
I'm sorry,
creates...
orgasming and petting your pet, what's the difference?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. So
That's how I get mine.
Yep. Yeah. So when you orgasm from petting your dog, that's oxytocin. That's the hormone that we want to encourage. And like being in a cozy room like this with the lights turned down, with snacks available, like that's the best place to labor for many, or if not most people. Truly everyone labors differently. For some people, being in a hospital environment is the best place for them. And I really don't want to assign a value judgment on that. But culturally, we have this like, oh my God, there's so much fear mongering around childbirth. Like it's the craziest pain you'll ever experience, as opposed to like, it's the peak of human power. That's what it is. You're literally reaching the threshold of human strength. It's fucking epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts to birth a life, but like it doesn't hurt you. And like there can be injury to the body that happens, but injury that largely the body can recover and heal from if you give it adequate support and like space to recover from, right? If you give no paid leave and someone has to go back to work immediately, the trauma on the body is going to have a really, you might not recover fully, and it might really be this event that like changed or hurt your body. I
have a question.
Yeah.
Have you noticed like people whose like support systems are really just not there, where their work-life balance, where they're not able to take time? Does that anxiety, do you see that manifesting in like their body, like not recovering well? Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah. And like when people if they don't have lots of family or friends around, or they do, but like family's toxic, and they're like, a lot of our clients are like working people, like people who work in the restaurant industries, and people who are like, I have to work until the day I give birth, and then I have to like go back like, you know, a month later or whatever it is. Not everyone. Some people have like really generous paid leave, you know, but a universal thing. So yes, it definitely does impact people's recovery.
Yeah.
For physically, like you're doing physically demanding activity or work when you really ought to be able to prioritize your own rest. You're also being separated from your child, which is devastating for a lot of people. Like you're a 2-month-old like is not ready to be separated from a parent, from a primary caregiver at all, and the parents also not ready to be separated.
The reason why I asked is that I saw something that absolutely fascinated me, which was that in like mid-late 2020, I saw like an article detailing how there were fewer premature births during that early time in the pandemic when everything was like really heavily locked down. And that there was like no real reason other than that people thought that the sort of like your subconscious, I don't know, like sense of anxiety or like other things you have to do, because like so many people had massively fewer things to do, that their body just sort of naturally like focused more on like having a healthy pregnancy, basically. That was the idea of what happened, at least. I don't know if that was proven, but I just thought it was so interesting that there was like this drop in premature births.
In preemies. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. I think ultimately I would love if like the medical landscape did not have the monopoly on childbirth. It's incredible to be in a hospital, like in an environment that has like machinery and technology and expertise that can deal with emergencies. Hospitals are great for emergencies, but hospitals are also primarily designed to take care of people who are injured or ill. And pregnant people are like fundamentally the strongest, healthiest people in the hospital, but you're like right next to an operating room. So it's not an accident that it makes sense that there's like you end up with lots of surgeries or with lots of interventions because it's just there. The norm, like the standard of care, at least in the US, is that people hire an OB as their primary clinical care provider for their pregnancy and birth. That's a surgeon. Their specialty is surgery, not physiological birth. And that's not, I'm not like, hashtag not all doctors. Like this isn't I'm really not. There are obviously incredible like obstetricians.
And when you see them, you're like, you're one of the good ones.
You're one of the good ones. And I'm not a clinician, so like I don't have clinical expertise, but comparing like obstetric care versus the midwifery model of care, which is much more focused on facilitating the physiology, like the physiological process of birth, as opposed to the medicalization of it, like trying to be hands off, trying to just facilitate birth without like maybe pharmacological intervention. Not always, and that's not always right for everyone. But like I recently started seeing a midwife instead of a gynecologist, like just for my general reproductive health care. I have no intention of having children ever, but it's been like such.
Wait, so you don't
fundamental.
Want you're a doula, but you don't want your own.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I sometimes I think about like surrogacy. I don't even know if I qualify for it. I am curious about childbirth.
I know another comedian. I don't think it would be like awful if I said her name, but I won't say her name just for her. But she's actually told me that she's like, she never wants to have kids, but she's fascinated and really wants to become a surrogate.
Yeah.
Like that's something she just thinks is like a really cool thing to do and something she'd love to offer up her body for.
Yeah.
And it is a cool thing to be able to do for someone if they want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like to be able to experience that like primal power of my own physiology and body and like see what I'm capable of.
And a funny story to tell that kid one day.
And hilarious.
And hilarious, darling.
And like birth it and be like, all right, you take it. Yeah, because
Get it out of here.
I don't think I want to be a parent.
Yeah.
But birth is so epic. But yeah, I really hope. I am always nervous. Like I don't want to come off like a lot of people think doulas are like hippy dippy, crunchy granola, like natural goddess birth. Like no, if you want to like get an epidural and not feel pain,
Exactly.
and you want to,
You're smoking cigarettes all the way through.
I'm smoking into your vagina. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to do, I want to write a monologue, like, that is the placenta, and she's, like, a jaded French woman. She's, like, smoking. She's like, nobody pays attention to me.
They just want to eat me like foie gras. I think I have a theory that all of my accents almost turn Indian, so I always have to stop.
I don't think, I've heard you do accents. I don't think you sound Indian to me.
Well, I appreciate that, Lucas, but you don't know.
No, you just sound aggressive.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, I was gonna ask you. So your doula partner.
Yes.
How long have you known her, and like, what is the dynamic between like? Is it like? Is there something you hate doing that she does, and something she hates doing that you do?
You ever
we
fight over
definitely
what?
like do have like strengths that and like that complement each other, which is great.
Awesome.
Which is I working with Tina, like this has been like she's just like one of the great like loves of my life. Like it's really amazing that I met her. I met her in September of 2020, and it's only when we started working together that this became like a full-time practice where we could just like sustainably support people and have this whack schedule to like do it with someone, so you always have backup. You don't know when these babies are gonna come. You know, they just show up. It's kind of rude.
Yeah, unannounced.
But yeah, like
send
Tina,
an email.
You know, I went to law school. I can be very like structure. Let's write the email templates and like organize a lot of the like.
Do you need me to tighten the microphone so it stops swinging?
Maybe.
I got you. One second.
Tighten that mic, baby boy.
Tighten
my
I also
mic.
wanted to do a joke like, just about like bearing down and pushing babies out and how it can take some time to push them out, like because you're so tight. Every time I can't even finish saying it, it's like so stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking gross.
But doctor, I can't get the baby out. Why?
What if I can't get it out because I'm
tight.
too tight? That won't be a problem. So gross.
Not me, loose lips.
But yeah, like so.
Ships.
No, there's a phrase that this.
Did you say loose lips sink ships?
You've never heard that expression?
No.
I had not either.
I've never heard.
But I was like, it rhymes, so I'm sure it's a real
I
phrase.
was.
It's supposed to be about gossip. It's like, if you're like talking, if you're gossip, which like I've sunk every ship.
I thought you meant like a cavernous vagina was like responsible for the Titanic
You'll
sinking.
lose a whole ship.
That's yep.
You think it was really an iceberg?
Iceberg.
Iceberg.
The classic euphemism for a vagine.
You know, like Canadians, maple leaf vagine is a.
You got that iceberg hole, like.
Okay, imagine trying to brag to your friend, yo, she's tight like an iceberg. They're like, what?
Yeah, you know, like an iceberg.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know that? But Tina's like a little bit like she's really soft and like warm and like a little witchy, very embodied, like just very in touch with her body, like has done a bunch of yoga teacher training, so just knows a lot about hormones and physiology, and is just like, we'll just speak about it a lot. She'll be like, oh, like I feel it, it's something weird in my psoas, and I'm like, what the fuck is a psoas? Like I have to go do research on the side, but I feel like I've learned so much and just become way more aware of my physical body. And that's also something I think we're in such an intellectualized culture. People feel like, okay, I have to take all the right childbirth classes, and it's like, feel yourself, like get in your body, like just like wiggle around, like get into, you know, it's a
Do
felt
Zumba.
experience. We don't want you to think during birth. We just want you to breathe. That's your only job. But so Tina has helped me, like, I don't know, just feel more embodied. And I want that for everyone, whether you're going to give birth or not.
That's awesome. Do you, when she talks about like different parts of her body and like how she feels about it, at some point are you just like, all right, you're making that shit up. That's not a part of her body.
At first, I was like, what's this girl talking about? Like I just...
the psoas, that's a canal. That's...
Yeah.
The psoas is my sister taught me about the psoas canal.
Yeah.
My sister is like a dance teacher, so
Yeah.
she also like, I'm pulling up this page.
What is the psoas? Can you actually like put, like where in the body? You
I
can't.
can't tell
Not
you.
a clue.
No.
It's on the hip.
Making it up,
I
Tina.
think
What the fuck?
It's somewhere here. I don't
somewhere.
know.
There's
It's
a
like obliques. I don't know. I do know a lot now about the pelvis.
Okay.
And I want people to learn more about the pelvis. That's like the main like site of childbirth.
Oh yeah, no, I think I know that. I think I
No, a
do.
lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Like pelvic floor.
Oh yeah,
People
I
are
know
like,
about the
what?
pelvic floor.
You're
Oh, yeah.
unusual. Not a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people
Oh
do.
yeah, the pelvic floor is a thing. I'm
Oh
trying.
yeah, pissing very important to me. I know all
Yeah.
about that pelvic floor.
Yeah.
At some point, my sister posted a meme from this page called like somatic memes only.
I love that account so much. And I'm like, this is so niche, it's like offensive.
Yeah.
There's like 14 people who get this. Like,
Yeah. But what is like? What's the theme of it? What's the?
do you know what somatics are?
Something to do with sleep?
It's
I gotta
it's
find
it's
this
like
account.
a body
Jamie, pull that up.
centered.
Yeah, Jamie.
It's like a body centered way of understanding your well-being.
Okay.
Like somatic therapy will focus not just on talking and like processing verbally, but also like try to locate where you're feeling the tension in your body.
Okay.
You're feeling it in your abdomen. Well, so what if you like take a deep breath and try to
I think I see
send-
what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very crude and ignorant way of describing
I've
what
got-
it is,
yeah.
but it incorporates like the felt experience in your body.
Oh yeah, and the way like if
into,
you just stimulate a
healing.
part of your body, it creates like it brings a memory to the forefront.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like emphasizing embodiment as part of healing and part of well-being.
Okay,
And
I
also,
think I'm up to speed.
fact check me.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Oh my god!
They're like-
Wait.
There's just so much.
Give me a little burst. Give me something.
Yeah, it's for dancers.
Oh,
I went to
okay.
Barnard and was friends with a lot of dance majors, and yeah, like that.
There's one that's
that
like okay,
account.
so it's the meme of the woman petting a bunch of like seals,
Mm-hmm.
and it says performance artist, and she's petting them, and then on the thing she's petting it said objects that need to be activated.
No, it's people who need objects to be activated. That's what it is.
It's just
Someone did an AI like generation of
God.
Pina Bausch with Squidward.
Oh my god! Can you DM that
Yeah.
to me?
Yeah, of
Pina-
course.
You know what's
Have
crazy
guys
is
seen
I
the
know
movie
about Pina Bausch. I studied a lot of crazy performance shit in
Did you
college.
really?
Yeah, I was a theater major, and I learned about Pina Bausch.
I
Oh
know
my
about
God. Have you seen
Martha
German
Pina, like
theater?
the movie?
No.
No, Is
Guys?
it good? Okay.
Stop what you're doing.
Stop what you're doing.
You got
Turn
you
this
got us
podcast
all-
off.
If you guys want to have a movie night and watch it, I love this movie.
I'm down
It's-
for movie
it's
night.
Oh,
gorgeous.
I
It's
do movie nights here.
gorgeous.
I do
It's
movie- oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I would love to watch it
That would
with
be
you.
beautiful. All
Let's
right.
do it.
It's like weird and beautiful, and it's an awesome visual experience. It's like a
Wait, talk
dance
about
movie.
like for those who may not know, basically a brief summary of who Pina Bausch was. Why do people need to know?
German choreographer. I don't actually. You probably know more,
Nope.
but she
I just remember learning about her, and I was like, "Yep, there were a lot of funky costumes
she's
and
a
weird."
very like just. Quirky is a little bit reductive, but like kind of a quirky
It was. I remember people dressed up
choreography
as like
style.
children's
Is she
toys,
like the
doing.
Marina of
Yeah.
dance, kind of?
Maybe like
Okay.
in that kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of avant-garde,
Very avant-garde,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
but not like
Marina
incomprehensible.
Abramovic, for those not in the know.
Yeah.
For those not knowing the know.
You're not cool,
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
You know what you know.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's not it's like avant-garde, but you watch it and at least like my experience is I watched it and I'm not like, what the fuck? Like some avant-garde shit, I'm like, what even is this?
What's happening?
Whereas I
Yeah.
watch her dance and I'm like, no, I understand that this is a dance performance.
Yeah.
It's a little like odd or just unexpected or like unconventional, but
Do you think
it
anyone
feels
ever,
like dance.
Do you think anyone ever goes to a dance show being like, "What the fuck is this?"
What
Like,
is this?
Bro, what are they doing up there? They're not even talking.
They're not walking anywhere.
Come on, say something.
Why aren't they saying anything?
Yeah, exactly. You just heckle like,
I
hey,
not hear?
I can't hear shit you say. You're probably
Yeah.
trying to talk.
Wow.
over
Use
there.
your words. Yeah.
Are we spinning around now? Of course.
Yeah.
Don't-
I
Yeah.
could do
You
that.
should
Women
watch
be
Pina.
spinning.
Yeah.
I will say dance is the one art form where people aren't like, oh, I can do that. You go to the MoMA, you see art, everyone's like, I could paint that. A 5-year-old could paint that. You go to see a comedy show, people are like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. They go up, they eat shit. Dance, everyone's like, I respect what you do.
No,
And
you
Yeah.
actually
fair.
don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I actually will never know how to do
my
that.
body cannot.
It's
do
the
that.
only thing I think you can
The
try
body
at
does
home
not keep that score.
and get an
No.
immediate. Oh,
I love a good trauma literature reference. Ooh.
Ooh, what's that?
I just
It's
asked
the
Lee
sc-
this morning. I was like, "Have you by any chance heard of the book The Body Keeps the Score?" And she was like, "No." I was like, "I
There's no way
that's
Lee's heard of
surprising.
that.
I feel like a lot of people know about that book.
yeah."
Even I've never read it, but I know I've heard it
So
talked about
embarrassing
so
for Lee.
much.
She doesn't know.
So, who even are you?
She said she knew a lot about Glee. Surprised to hear that she listened to my episode of.
yeah,
Oh,
the,
Be
the
Good.
body. The
I
body
had a
keeps the
conversation with her recently, and she was like, there have been times where like you've like annoyed me in the past, and I was like, oh my god, can you tell me what happened? And she was like, there are a lot of times where you'll like talk about like an actor or a film, and I'll not know about that, and you'll be like, how do you not know this? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like me. I'm sorry.
I like that. My girlfriend said something interesting recently where she was like, the instinct to do that should be replaced with like, if you don't know about a film or don't know about an actor, the instinct to be like, I'm so excited for you to watch this for the first time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
I'm how I told you that I'm like the last person to find out gossip stuff.
Yeah.
I feel very similarly about film. Like I feel so illiterate, and I've just never prioritized watching like canon movies. Like
Okay.
I only recently saw The Matrix for the first time, but like,
What'd you think of it?
What did you
But
think?
like I understood all the cultural references
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it, so I was like,
when
do
did
I
you see
think-
it? How recently?
Like a few years ago.
Okay.
How'd
What did
you
think?
like it?
You know, I watched it. It was like a couple hours, and then I don't even remember most of
You
it.
couldn't have been more Jewish in responding to that question.
It was a movie.
It was a couple hours.
It
I
happened.
watched it.
I probably ate some popcorn, got it stuck in my teeth. Very annoying, but you floss, and then it's better. And then the movie, I don't remember.
But Keanu has great skin. Beautiful.
Keanu has very good
He
skin.
does have very good skin. He's aged phenomenally.
He really
The
has.
Matrix for me was a movie that like it really. We actually just looked at it in like film class.
Oh,
And
yeah?
The idea is that it's like closed cinema because the camera just makes every decision for you. You sit there in front of your TV and you are told where to look, what's important. You're like told everything.
Is that not what a movie is?
Not really, because there's another style called open cinema where there's like multiple points of focus, like multiple things in a shot
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like, where do I
at.
look?
Yeah, cameras.
Immediately I was like, is that like an open mic where anyone can pick up a
Anyone
camera
can
and
pick
it
up a
just
camera
adds to the
and
movie?
just
Like, do whatever
make
you want.
some cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
You know who else is making little movies in our messages?
Oh.
Our listeners.
What?
So sometimes we get listener
What a
submissions.
transition.
Okay.
And often, sometimes they will ask for advice. Sometimes they just want to talk and we respond.
Okay.
Sometimes they have some really funny stories. So let's get into it.
All right,
Ooh,
I've got
hell
one
yeah.
pulled up
Let's do it.
right here. Okay. Do you guys have any suggestions for rebelling against my parents without getting kicked out? I'm currently gradually thickening my eyeliner until they notice.
I love that.
I've already dyed and cut my hair, but they didn't notice because they were too busy screaming at me for having a girlfriend. I bought some dollar store black nail polish, and my mom said I looked anemic and called me Wednesday Addams. Now I'm just bored and I need something fun and teenagery and rebellious to do.
Your mom's funny. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. It's like my mom. She's like good at roasting. It's like really
Oh.
upsetting.
Yeah, my mom is
Every
too.
time I tell her I had a show, she's like, "Oh, did the people laugh?" Yeah.
That is
They did.
brutalizing.
It's
Oh my
brutal.
God.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I don't have an
Oof.
ego anymore.
It's the genuineness of the question. Like, did they laugh? And just like leaning in, like
When I
waiting.
started doing stand up, she was like, "No, like I understand that you're doing stand up, but like did someone tell you that you're funny?"
Oh my
I
God.
was like, "You are a queen. You need to monetize this. Like,
Yeah.
you need to.
She's
teach.
got to go up
She
there.
should have a podcast.
She should have.
Yeah.
I know.
She would do. Oh yeah.
All right, I gotta help her out. But this listener.
Yeah. I like this person a lot.
I like this person too. How do I
Yeah.
rebel against my parents?
Just coming up with fun ideas to just fuck with them. Ooh.
I think you should ask them about their emotional interior. Really catch them off guard.
Ask them about their pelvic floor.
Ask them about their pelvic floor.
That is the ultimate rebellion against a parent. Oh my God, being 16, being like, how are you? That is like the worst thing you can say
Yeah.
to a parent. Oh my God.
Ask your parents, like, did you not feel seen by your parents as a child?
Oh.
Just gently.
I think
ask
I
them
think a
that.
fun thing to do
Actually,
as well.
you might get kicked out.
Do you
Maybe
have
don't ask.
Yeah,
unfulfilled
maybe.
dreams?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
resent me? Is that what this is?
Is there anything you wanted to do before you had me that you can't do anymore?
Yeah.
Do you like my sister better or do you like me better?
Yeah.
You can be honest.
Yeah. I have another idea, which is that you could ask your parents about like what their favorite thing of a category is, like what their favorite movie, what their favorite food is, and then just disagree with them. Be like, no, your favorite is actually this, isn't it? Just like, just argue with them about their
Argue
own
about
preferences,
that,
but
yeah.
never let up.
I think you could do a long con where you drop hints that the house is haunted until they believe it, but you never believe it. You could just be like, put like a jar in a specific place and be like, oh, that's funny.
Keep moving something.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't move that, and it is Grandpa's birthday today.
I did something to my mom a couple times, but she used to fall asleep on the couch a lot. I mean, she still does, but like living here, she like fell asleep on the couch a lot. And something that I would do is I would change my clothes, put on my backpack, and then if it would be like 8 p.m., I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go to school. And she was like,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
and then immediately I'll be like, nah, it's still yesterday.
It's still yesterday. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really feel for this question. I was a very like docile. I don't know words.
Yeah.
Very obedient. I was like a little fascist. I loved rules and I loved just like, okay, if I follow all the rules, I won't get yelled at, which is not true. You will still get yelled at, but I was always so afraid of rebelling. I feel like I'm doing it now. So I just want to say to this listener, like, I so respect that you have the rebellious spirit.
Yeah.
It's good
That's
to get that out of the
badass.
way
Like,
at this time.
You're gonna become who you become. Like, your life is your life, and like you're in charge of your life, even though you live in your parents' home. But like, yeah, nurture that. It's not even really about your parents. It's just like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's a good answer. I love that. Okay. Next listener says, the first hentai I ever watched. Do you know what that is?
I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
I've never
Have-
seen it either.
Have you, this is probably a personal question, but do you watch porn?
Sometimes.
Okay. But
Yeah.
just not hentai.
Yeah, not
All right.
hentai. Lately, most recently, I've tried. Do you know what Dipsy is?
Yes.
What is that?
I know
It's like
because I
audio
auditioned
erotica.
for them.
Really?
You did?
I did, yeah.
Whoa, Cool. They got sexy voices. I
They
have
got
to
sexy
say.
voices. I was apparently not sexy enough.
I think you got a sexy voice.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's hentai, like
It's,
anime
so
porn.
it's animated, straight porn.
Okay.
Because there's also Yuri and Yaoi,
Okay.
and one of those is
What is that?
one of them is gay and one of them is for lesbians.
You're so much more deep in the lore than.
Okay.
In the lore.
I had these two best friends in middle school who were like obsessed with this
Yeah,
stuff.
good excuse. Yeah.
Yeah. honestly, like, I wasn't, and they tried to get me into it, but then they fell asleep at my house and they looked up fucking yaoi, that was the gay one I remember, on my dad's computer, and I simply got in trouble for the things that they looked up on my dad's computer, because it's very hard to be like, oh, no, those were my friends who did that.
But in your case, it was true.
That's
Yes.
that's like why I didn't do a lot of sex research as a middle schooler. It was
Yeah.
like the family
Yeah.
desktop. I'm like, I can't.
You guys don't know, listeners. You don't
Yes.
know the family desktop. If
I
you're
had the
young
family computer as
listening
well.
to it.
I was terrified. I was.
You don't remember looking up penises before someone's bar mitzvah? I was like dressed.
for a bar mitzvah. You know, the classic time
Yeah.
to look for penises.
I was dressed 8 in the
That's
morning.
your penis debut. You got to study up before the big day.
My mother's like, give me a little bit. I need to take a call. With like, we're about to go. I'm like dressed up in my fucking service clothes, and then I like go on the family computer and I just Google penises.
You did what I was too afraid to do.
Yeah.
Did you get a good yield from the internet?
You know, they
What'd
gave
you
me a
find?
variety of very unrealistic. I was like, I remember being like, oh, there's no way, because they're all like so big on
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. I wish I could have Googled like reasonable looking penis.
Yeah, a lot of normal looking penises on Google, if you ask me. A lot of normal looking ones, very regular, average size. All I'm gonna say.
Mine's normal.
Mine's great.
If you ask me.
Mine's really cool.
If you ask
Okay,
me.
so the first, oh my god, it just went away. Okay, first hentai I ever watched was at my best friend's house when I was 7 or 8. He was my best friend on and off throughout elementary school, and he was a very bad influence on me. But the one thing about him was he always wanted to do sleepovers, and his parents were not strict at all. So one time I showed up at his house in 3rd grade at around 1 a.m. He goes to his computer and says, look at this, and he pulls up really weird hentai. It was blurred, and we were both so young we had no idea what was going on.
Oh.
I think it was the zombie apocalypse, and this guy was really stressed out, and a girl walks in and said, I can help relax you. Classic. Then she gives him a blowjob and gets eaten by a zombie. I forgot about this memory until recently, and now I'm on a dedicated search to find the hentai.
Wow.
Oh my god. What a poor gal. She's doing such a nice deed and then she gets
Yeah.
eaten by a zombie. Where's karma?
Yeah. That sucks.
That sucks. Imagine like I was wondering like do you have like survivor's guilt? Like
Yeah.
like I just got
my
a wonderful blowjob and then she got eaten by a zombie. I mean
Does the blowy have survivor's guilt?
yeah. Yeah.
Also, how did he not get eaten?
The blowy keeps the score.
Oh my.
Yeah. Well, he was the only one who was unoccupied visually. He
Are-
could see what was happening.
Are either of you hentai people?
Not a hentai person.
Are you
I've seen it. I have seen it. Yeah.
I've watched some,
Consumers.
but okay. The one porn I always talk about on this podcast, I actually showed it to my friends yesterday. Is Pokemon porn. But I don't watch it till like. Wait, I've never spoken about this on the pod. Well, I'll
No?
refresh the listeners' memory.
You also need to
pretty sure I have.
understand, I know people in Pokemon, so I'm just like, oh, Jesus.
Well, okay, so basically it's a long, my friend showed me this, it's like this, it's like 30 minutes long, and there's plot that like, obviously like I can't follow, but Pikachu is named Dikachu, and she's a human woman, but like,
Bulbasaur is balls.
Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur is not in it, unfortunately. I know.
That's erasure.
It's,
Sorry.
it's
Squirtle
Bulbasaur.
is self-explanatory.
Squirrel.
They didn't put Squirtle, they just put Pikachu.
That is-
That is such a low hanging fruit.
I know. Instead, they really stretched too
Who
thin.
are these writers?
Yeah.
Get me in the writers' room. Book me, Pokemon
Book me,
porn.
Pokemon.
You know people in Pokemon. Get me in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not even
Lucas.
good at puns, but like this shit writes itself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so Pikachu is
Yeah.
painted like the
Dikachu,
body
that's
paint
insane.
Dikachu. Excuse me, I don't mean to slur her name.
Put
Wait,
some
Pikachu is femme,
Dikachu is a woman,
not a dick. Like
Yeah.
that's so weird.
So wait,
Yeah.
what is the pun with Dikachu?
dick,
Dick.
but it's a
But
girl.
still, okay.
Girls can have dicks.
That is no,
Don't
that
you
is
know?
true.
That is true.
So true. So true. So true.
So true, bestie. So true. So true.
bestie. But in
We
this,
stand,
in
we
this case,
stand.
she doesn't because you can see her anatomy.
Okay,
And-
but does she have anything penisy about her person?
there
she
anything
kind of looks
phallic?
peanut. Like she's in this. She's bald and she's in this like disgusting yellow body paint. And when she fingers Misty, aka Fisty, as is her name, when she
Wait, fingers doesn't fist fisty?
yeah, she doesn't fist her, but she fingers her, and the
There's
body.
a lot of opportunities that are
She
just being
fingers
scrapped.
Fisty. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
Exactly.
So fucked up.
Who was like this? Yes, green light.
I authorized it.
Bullshit.
I'm sorry to say I authorized. Yeah, it's messy. It doesn't get the details right. But there's like body paint and it like comes off of her.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna throw your
I
pH off.
watched it on the train yesterday with two friends, and there was a guy standing above us, unbelievably expressionless, like, huh.
I would love to be in the writer's room for Pokemon porn. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, you guys gotta get in there.
I would. Oh yeah.
Pokerotica. Oh,
Pokerotica. Oh
Pokerotica,
yes.
yeah.
No, I hate that. I delete. Rescind. No.
Rewind.
We should write some Pokerotica. It would be good.
Pokemon erotica on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Hey, get it on the TikTok.
Yeah. Oh God.
All right. I mean, good
okay.
luck to that listener on that journey.
Oh yeah.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
Hope you find it too.
Yeah.
No joke. Send it to us because I want to see this.
You don't send it to me, but send it
Not to you,
them.
but send it to me. Yeah. Not DM me, but to our email. You know, professional. Yeah.
Absolutely send it to nosymeerkats@gmail.com. I think that's our email. I
Yes,
can't
you got
remember.
it, you got
Man,
it.
you're gonna
Okay.
get such interesting ads after that.
Oh yeah.
The algorithm's gonna go crazy.
I
for
can't
me.
wait. Okay, so part 2 on. Okay, so we had someone who submitted in. Speaking about someone called Emily, could you give us a little summary of Emily?
So we a while ago had a listener who was like, "Let me tell you about this girl who goes to my school. Her name is Emily," and it was basically a list of grievances about Emily, who does not sound very nice. Emily went up to a girl at their school whose dad had just died and said something like, "Oh my God, wait! Imagine not having parents." So Emily's kind of
Okay,
a
so
bitch.
Emily's a cunt.
Emily's a cunt.
Emily's
And
really cool.
Emily like sticks her fingers in her butt and like wipes it on stuff. Like
How
she's,
old is Emily?
I think she's in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a part
Cool
2
gal.
update on Emily.
Okay.
More
Okay.
funny stories about Emily. One day I was trying to sleep and there was a window in front of my bed to the hallway. I looked up and she was licking the lid of her yogurt and staring at me. Me and my roommate were so freaking confused. She also went up to my friend Rachel and groped her boob. She would make jokes about having threesomes with the other patients. Oh, maybe this was like a psych word. I can't remember. Knowing they were dating people. She would also stand so close to me I thought she was going to kiss me, and I found it super uncomfortable. She would also walk into the boys' bedrooms and said that she was confused and thought it was her room. She would spread any sort of toppings on her toast with her finger and would eat applesauce with her finger and wouldn't wash it after.
She's got some finger trauma. I feel like that's
Yeah.
for sure.
She should meet Fisty.
Fisty. Emily sounds, I don't know, something's wrong.
This is very worrying, and I hope that she's
Yeah.
getting help.
Yeah.
Really.
Like, it's not okay. It sounds like she's about like a pathological boundary crosser, which is not cool.
Yeah.
But also, I hope she's okay.
Yeah. That's a
Put
good
her in the
nuanced
writer's room,
answer.
yeah.
Put her in the writer's room. You know what? Give her a Pokemon porn. It'll solve
Yeah.
everything.
Exactly. Give her a task.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Well,
We're coming to the end, right?
I think we are. Do we have another one? I don't
We
think
have
we do.
one. I think we have one.
Oh yes, we do. I have it pulled up right here. Weird phobia, but I can't kill spiders. The fear that when I hit it, it will explode and baby spiders will go everywhere creeps me out. Opinions? No, that's just correct. That's just a real fear.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Do you think spiders have doulas?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Laying-
about arachnids.
Laying the eggs is not an inherently medical process.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking true. Get pharma out of spider birth. I have an irrational phobia of insects.
Really?
Are spiders considered insects?
No.
What?
No, they're not.
They're
What are they?
Arachnids.
and that's different. They eat insects. I don't know, but
Yeah, no, insects
creepy
and
crawlies.
Yeah, sure.
The technical term. I really creepy crawlies. Whew, not okay with them. So I
Yeah.
agree with that fear
Okay.
a lot.
Do you remember when that began? Like when you first were afraid, or was it just like always there? You always were like,
I can't remember not being a little freaked out by bugs,
Okay.
which I remember first seeing like a daddy long legs on like a camping overnight thing in Zionism camp, and just being like, I just can't handle this. Like, I'm not built for these.
What if there are
woods.
Zionist daddy long legs, or just?
Oh wow.
We don't
People
talk
used
to the
throw
spider.
them into the bonfire and like hear it pop, and I was like, "You're a monster. You're
What
a monster."
the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not over Zionist arachnids.
Yeah.
People being like, this was our web first.
Oh my god. A 2-web solution. That's never gonna work. Never
So
gonna
in
work.
conclusion, it's
Acquire the West Web.
Oh my god.
your fear is valid, but what you should be more afraid of is spiders with bad politics, because
Yeah.
they're the ones who are going to take it out on the other spiders. in the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Danielle, we're coming towards the end of the episode. You already know what's going to happen, which is Self-Perception Corner. Would you please describe the ways in which you believe you are perceived by other people, and then we will tell you how we actually perceive you.
Okay. Can I answer this by telling you random things like people have
Yes.
told me
Yes.
to describe me
Yes.
that I actually don't even know what they mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is interesting.
You look like you speak French. You have an oat milk vibe. You're very calm. Okay, wait, now I'm trying to think of other ones. Sexual orientation ambiguous.
True.
Is that true? Okay.
You're asking Gabby about your. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I guess it depends where I'm pretty, now in my life, I'm pretty, like, I'm the same person in most contexts, but I probably give off, like, a pretty calm, hopefully warm sort of energy. Maybe some people would be like mom vibes, but I think it's just a little more like, oh, you seem kind of chill. You seem a little quirky. That's my very vague. Like,
Yeah.
you seem like hipster adjacent or just full on hipster. I don't know.
I don't think you give off hipster
Oh,
or
good.
mom vibes. I don't
Thank
think you do.
God.
But when you said that
I hate
you.
both of those.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, moms hate
Big respect,
hipsters.
big
You
respect.
do look like you speak French.
You did. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you. Yeah, I was like,
so
that
no
is on the
bullshit.
money.
I
Yeah.
do like doing a French accent in stand up.
Yeah.
As like I like opening with that and then gaslighting
well, the
everyone.
placenta, yeah.
and the
Yeah.
placenta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is shockingly
People think I
accurate.
speak
No,
French.
I
It's
will
so
say you
strange.
are. I've never felt like you had any ulterior motives or you were putting on something. You always seem very, very genuine.
Oh my god, good.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
No, yeah. I never feel like, oh, you're trying to put on a front or trying to get. I always feel like, oh no, you're saying exactly what you mean. It's also something that I love about you, which is a quality that I love in people, which is I love it when I can tell someone doesn't necessarily want anything from me. They either enjoy being near me or just like enjoying, but they're not trying to extract anything. I love, and that's, I always feel like you're always very content and you're politely curious, or just it's always an easy experience being around you. Always.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Thank you. I would like that to be true.
Yes.
I do feel like you seem very like self-actualized in yourself, and
Oh yeah.
you know what you are doing in this world, which is more than most of our peers can say, more than I can say for myself.
Really?
I mean, like, I have a general plan of my life, but I don't know yet what I want to, like, the very specific thing I want to provide to the world in a general sense. So I really love that about you. And I also just remember the first time I saw you on stage, I was like, this girl's really fucking funny.
You also have a unique delivery, which is
you?
it's always very attractive whenever you're at a comedy
Lucas
space.
thinks
Is
I'm
when
hot.
you see, yeah,
Lucas, you fucking
No, I'm
creep.
so sorry. Please, I'm interrupted. You're like saying nice things
yeah,
about
I'm
me,
rock
and
solid.
I can't handle it.
No, but it always attracts me to a comedian whenever I see something unique. Like Dylan Adler is someone who's highly unique, and the first time I ever saw him, like we both saw him at our first open mics
Yeah.
respectively, but you
Yeah.
just immediately gravitate to it because it's someone who's good, but also does something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And you have a very unique delivery. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
What can I ask? Like specifically, like what you
I don't even
only
know,
so
it's
I
just-
can monetize it.
It's literally just the way you speak, just your natural cadence and the way you bring up topics, the way you arrange stuff is just so.
I think you're a good writer too.
Yes, you are.
Because I can tell you're very smart, and I wonder if sometimes, I don't know if you like keep your cards close to chest until you like trust people, but that's a good quality.
It is good.
So,
I feel like I'm so open, like I'm such an open book, but again, self-perception's a little different. than-
yeah. Well, but ironically, sometimes it is the people who are the open books who get perceived as closed, because like I just believe everyone's always hiding some. Like I'm one of these like trust issues girls.
Yeah. I mean, that's like.
But I like that you're not, because then it's like I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I feel like my priority always is I really want people to feel safe around me.
Oh yeah, I for sure
I
feel
for
safe
sure
around
do.
you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like on performing, like I want it to be easy to watch me perform. Like I want an audience to be like, oh, she's having fun, you know. Like
That's the best thing about like watching a comic who's really good is like I've actually been trying to write material that's a little like cleaner, not necessarily because I'm afraid of any of the subject matter, but just because I want an audience, even if they don't like the jokes I'm telling, to like me, because I think that and to enjoy the experience they're having.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so naturally like reactive to when people are like, comedy's about like saying your perspective and politics and race and saying stuff you can't say in other places. It's like, I don't know if that's what it's about. It's about being
Whatever.
silly and making
Yeah.
yucks.
Yeah. I've been trying to I have a hard time, like I don't quite know if I know like what my stage persona is or is like. I have a hard time like wrapping like knowing what that's like.
Forgive me for interrupting. I don't think people need a stage persona. I don't.
Fair
do you
enough.
think I have a stage persona? I don't think I do.
I would say you're like, yeah, I don't know that you do, but I also don't know that you don't.
Okay.
I think
Even if it's just like a more heightened version of who I am.
Yeah.
But I recently did a show, and one of my best friends and her fiance, like both really good friends, like they saw me perform stand up, and they've seen clips before that, but they'd never seen me perform before. And I was asking them, like, if you'd never seen me, if you didn't know me, like what would your impression be? And my friend said, she was like, I couldn't really tell from the person I was seeing on stage. Like, I wouldn't know that you're like a gentle person, and you're like a very gentle person. There was a lot more like darkness and like not like aggression, but it was like this warm darkness. And I was like, cool.
that
honestly,
actually is a good way to describe it.
It
Like,
is, yeah.
You are a little dark, but that's
I'm
great.
very dark.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
like, but
You seem very pointed. Whenever you do material, it's always very pointed.
And I love that. Yeah.
I like it. It's very sharp. Yeah.
I've persona is an interesting thing because I just don't know that ever. Like, I think sometimes I have too much of a stage persona. I need to tone it the fuck down.
Really?
You know?
I'm fucking sick of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, it's like
you're
it's
great.
so charismatic, and it's like so. I feel like you're so gregarious on stage.
The reason I love your stage persona, it's sort of like the way Tiffany Haddish talks about like her career as like an energy producer. Like you always like produce like a fun vibe for the audience to join in on, and that's what's great about your stage persona.
I think that's why I sometimes get heckled more than other comics because people just want to participate. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I'm putting this out there, but like, please.
You radiate too
but
much
please
good
stop.
energy.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that. You know, everything's
you
a
got
long
too much good
process.
vibes.
Oh,
Yeah.
too much good vibes. Speaking of too much good vibes, you've been a fucking
You've been the
bomb,
best.
amazing guest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
would you
I've been so
please-
excited to come on this show.
Yes, we've been wanting to
so
have you. We've been
pumped.
wanting to have you for a long time.
Oh my
Yay.
god.
Yeah. Would you please plug and promote anything you want?
Yes. So, I post some silly stuff on Instagram sometimes at Female Intern. That's also the name of my podcast that I recently started. It recently started airing. Is that the word? There's maybe
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes out so far.
Nice.
Every Monday, trying to release them. They are just pretty like personal conversations. It's like one-on-one time. I love one-on-one time. I fucking crush one-on-one conversations, and it's with like mostly comics, but not all comics. People who I've just always wanted to like ask them more and like learn more about them. And so yeah, sometimes
Nice.
it's funny, sometimes it's pretty it can be serious. It can be all the things that a one-on-one conversation can be.
Beautiful.
I'm having fun making it. That's it.
Dope.
Nice. I will be doing a tone bitch on September 28th. I will be doing Sonny LaPrad's show at Eastville on October 4th. I'm going to be doing a roast battle against Sam Schaefer October 19th.
shit.
And then on the 23rd, I'm going to be doing Sid King's show, who's been on the show in the past.
Sid King.
Sid King.
Shout out
What
to
about you?
Sid King.
What do you got going on?
Checking the damn calendar, but
Also, 24-Hour Kiss Club, my sketch group. We are performing at Caveat November 5th.
Hell yeah. I forgot. There's a show on September 30th that I'm participating in. Do you guys know the comedian Tom Achilles?
yeah,
Yes.
I love that dude.
Yeah, so he's having an album release party that involves a show,
my
and the
God.
show is a Tom Achilles impression contest.
Oh,
and I'm one
wow.
of the contestants.
You're one of the... Oh,
yeah,
my God.
and like Mia Faith Hammond is one of
Oh
them. I'm
my
just like
God.
the fact that I
She's
This is
also
going to be
been on the pod
amazing.
before,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's
Oh
amazing.
my
Yeah.
God, I've like literally never been this excited for a show before.
This is exciting. This is cool.
So yeah,
All right,
Damn.
what about you?
doing
What do you
that.
got?
I got a roast of John Ajoda on October 5th, and then I got a couple other things. There's like a PowerPoint show. The big one I'm excited about in terms of the roast is Max Gross and Claire Olshansky
Hell yeah,
are
I saw
starting
that.
a queer roast show together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be on that roasting Caroline Dunn. So I'm really
Damn.
pumped. I love Caroline, and I've been thinking about that. I'm like, what the fuck could I even say about her? What? Oh, Caroline's a ray of sunshine. That's it.
What a whore!
What a slut. Caroline's such a slut for being nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Very good.
That's-
Well, thanks again
Thank
for
you.
being on the podcast.
This was
You're absolutely
amazing.
amazing. Everyone listen to Female Intern, new podcast. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you next week.
we will see you next
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
It's my foot at the mic.
Bye
Oh.
bye bye.
Toodaloo!